So one final story before we leave, now that you mentioned Turkish coffee, and I know you like stories. In 1500s, coffee is brought to Istanbul as an unknown, something new from India. And one of the merchants is selling it. And one of the people who works in the palace, in the harem, is actually out shopping for some stuff for the palace. And he sees the merchant. Of course, everybody knows him, and says, what is this that you're selling in this big sack? He says, oh, I don't know. They call it coffee. And apparently, you have to boil it with water, but nobody knows. So I made a big mistake, lost a lot of money, and I still have this. Okay, give me a little bit. So he takes a little bit. Now, Turkish delight, everybody knows. When you go to people's homes, there's always a bowl of Turkish delight on the coffee table or whatever. So what happens is he takes this coffee home and he's making it. As he's making the coffee, the emperor's wife comes to visit. And so, Your Highness, blah, blah, and takes her in. And immediately she notices the smell. Says, oh, this is such a nice smell. What is this? And says, oh, Your Highness, they call it coffee. Apparently it comes from India. And I just brought it home and I was making it. So would you like a cup yourself? Says, yeah, sure, of course. Let's have it. So he prepares it and he puts in 2 small cups and puts it down on the coffee table. And right next to it, of course, there is Turkish delight. And he doesn't know anything about the taste, what it tastes like or anything. He just brought one for her, one for him, and he's about to sit down, and she takes a sip. As the moment that she takes a sip, he goes, oh my God, this is like a freaking poison. And what is this? It tastes so bad. And of course, this is the emperor's wife. It's powerful, and he'll lose his head. He says, oh my, I'm so sorry. Let me get you a glass of water. And he rushes back to the kitchen to get a glass of water. And as she's waiting for him, she takes a piece of Turkish delight and puts in her mouth. And then suddenly you see her facial expression change, pleased. And then she takes another sip, and then takes a bite of Turkish delight. And then as she does that, the guy brings the glass of water, and here he goes, water. And she goes, sit down. And then she takes the water and drinks it. She says, this goes really well. Try it and take a little Turkish delight. And then he tries and he goes, this is so good. And it's new, but it's so good. So the moral of the story is, today, if you go to Turkey and you order coffee, of course, they'll bring Turkish coffee. They will always bring a bowl of Turkish delight and a glass of water with it.
I'm in. Let's do it.
That's how you have it. So you can go to Amazon and order yourself Turkish delight. And my recommendation is order the type that has coconut in it. Coconut and pistachio together. That's the better part. And then make yourself coffee, like real strong espresso. We can also order Turkish coffee. Make it like you make espresso, and have it with a glass of water.
Well, and I did find on Amazon so I have a Nespresso machine, and I found pods with Turkish coffee in there.
Yeah.
And it's a good substitute. It's not as good as, but it's a substitute.
Well, what I told you is a true story. And that is, we're talking around 1550s. It
Yeah.
started at that time, and it became a phenomenon. They opened coffee houses all over, like Starbucks, and men would stop their work just to go to the coffee houses and meet and talk and gossip,
Mm.
to the extent that the emperor closed them all down and said, close these places, stop working, they're becoming lazy. Now,
Oh, I
coffee,
love it.
he banned it in the palace, he banned it everywhere, and it became a big deal. And of course, it didn't last because people loved coffee.